She's the one who grabbed my sack.
A lot's happened since yesterday.
Welcome to A Lot's Happened Since Yesterday. Oh, Cody just whipped me. I don't think he liked that intro. But anyways.
The intro was great. That was where I'm going to cut in the fucking... when you say because a lot's happened since yesterday, that's where I'm going to put the fucking thing. That was beautiful.
Okay.
I love it.
So my name is Ralph Busso.
I'm Cody Walker.
My partner, Cody. We are the owners of Soul Siphon Media, and we also have a podcast called A Lot's Happened Since Yesterday. And a lot has happened since yesterday. As a matter of fact,
my God.
Yeah, no
like,
shit.
Seriously, dude.
It's like every day it just everything keeps going crazier and crazier and crazier. It's kind of crazy because we came up with this concept based on something that happened like a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it made sense because we're like, yeah, dude, you know what I mean? When the shit all of a sudden out of nowhere hits the fan, all you can do really is kick back and go, God dang, a lot's happened since yesterday.
Yeah, what are you going to do about it, bro?
Used to be we were kicking back, smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee and not giving a shit about anything. And now, a lot's happened since yesterday. Things have changed. So let's talk about the show.
This is the second house show. It's kind of a big deal, man. No. Like I honestly am not going to lie. I expected this to be a lot more frequent because when we started this, we were talking about wanting to get the guests and wanting to do the shit. So I figured we'll start the house show. We did the episode 0. I thought it was fun. But even then, I'm like, we're going to try to get guests and shit like that. I honestly thought we would have issues. We have been kicking at. I am so proud of this show and the people who have been following us and pushing it. Like, I am actually kind of speechless, and that's hard to do.
We honestly, we've had a few really good people in the industry, in the music industry, come out.
Yeah.
And go to bat for us and say, you know what, we like what you're doing. It's really cool. We'll help you as much as we can.
I'm shocked at that. And I mean, I'm not trying to put me or you down. It's not in that manner. It was just like, I just thought, you know, we've got people, we've worked, we've done our thing, but we were going to have to prove something. And everybody was like, we're behind this. I can't thank everybody enough. And I'm at the same time, though, I'm excited about the house shows because we don't get a chance to sit and shoot the shit and, you know, talk our experience about it all.
Yeah, no, that's true. We don't get to do that. But, I think a lot of it is because you're so busy with all the editing. For those of you who don't know, Cody does all of the editing. So he does all the research, the editing. I mean, he's contacting people as well. I contact people as well. That's a part of what I do with this because I know a lot of people in the industry and I've made a lot of friends. And so it's kind of a little bit easier for me sometimes to go, hey, dude, you know what, bro? We'd love to get your boy on. You know what I mean? And they're like, okay, yeah, sure. Dude, I'll help you out. I'll hook you up. And we had a lot of help with that. You know, Muncie Ricci has been awesome. Patrick Kennison, he's been super awesome.
Yeah.
Helping out. We've had a lot of people that have come, stepped up to the plate and said, hey, we're going to help you out. Did I miss anybody? Well, we've had our label.
Yeah, Pavement.
Pavement Entertainment. As far as I'm concerned, they're a great record label. You know, whatever people want to say about what a record label is supposed to do for you as an artist, that's your opinion. In my opinion, when a label comes to bat and says, you know what, we feel bad because you guys didn't get what you deserved because of what happened with COVID-19, because we released in March.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Ravenscroft released the album 1 week almost to the day before lockdowns happened.
Right. So we kind of got screwed by that. And the label came up, you know, Tim King and Mark Narara, they are two super awesome guys. They're the label owners, and, you know, Tim's the part owner, but also the head A&R, and he's the one that brought us in front of Mark and said, I think these guys are the guys. And it was because we were in a contest via Reverb Nation to win a record deal, basically. And Mark, Tim King thought that it was the best thing, and he said there was like almost 800 bands that they had to listen to all the songs. So that was pretty cool. That felt pretty cool. That was a nice pat on the back for us. But outside of that, it's been nonstop support by them, and I really appreciate them. Right now, they're helping us as well with the podcast, and we really appreciate that. They're two really cool guys. All the people that work for them, Barbara, there's a lot of cool people.
Muncie's working with them. I know
Muncie works for them as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
John,
they have good
John's
people.
Working with us on the radio promotions.
They've got real good people working on their team, and they're a good label. And so shout out to Pavement Entertainment, Tim King and Mark Narara.
You
Thanks,
mentioned you mentioned one thing in talking about that, and 100% mad love to those guys, because I mean they're working so much. I mean, we're coming in March, we're going to be talking to one of their bands called Plush, and these young ladies they're out of control. But we'll get into that when they come on. You said something that caught my ear, and let's get into that, because one part of the show is we like talking about, our love of this is the industry and the business and the art. And you made a comment, Ralph, about, you said, no matter what you think a label should be, and you continued on. And I think what a lot of people forget or don't need to realize when it comes to a label is it's not the label takes over and you just shut the fuck up. And, if you have what you consider a good label, you should find a working relationship with them. It shouldn't be, do you agree? Because that's one thing
Absolutely.
I thought about in our previous band, Serpent Underground. We had dealt with labels, and they were very business oriented, and they pushed in a way. They weren't assholes about it, but it was very, this is what we think the industry is, and this is what we think you should do. We've had offers from bigger labels that go, we like what you do, change your sound. Fuck. And we had to consider it. I'm sure we can get into those stories at some point. My point, though, is regardless of how you came in to meeting Tim and Mark, when we did, there was a mutual agreement here. It wasn't, we got this, boys. It was, dude, you give us what you can give us, and we'll give you that in return. And I think there needs to be that aspect in a lot of what people do. They got to remember, it's not just us against you, or you have to kiss my ass for me to go with you. You have to find those relationships, regardless of what they are, that make you believe. I believe Tim and Mark, they believe in you guys. They truly do.
Well, it all has to be, it's the same thing with the band. It all has to be a symbiotic relationship, man. One hand washes the other on so many levels.
But it seems like a lot of people say that concept like it's a shady thing. Well, don't you understand? One hand washes the other. You got to scratch backs. And I'm like, but scratching back is a great product too.
Yeah. Well, when it comes together, you know what I mean? When you clasp the hands together, that it makes a stronger unity, a stronger bond.
Yeah.
So obviously record labels are there for a reason. They're there to help with the financial aspect of it, and also all the other planning that goes into the launch of a band.
Right.
There's a lot involved. I mean, we could do a full 2-hour podcast just talking about what it takes to launch a band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you really want to do a launch, and of course, yes, we're hard rock and metal based. So there's a different approach than it would be for a pop band or a rap band or something, hip hop or whatever.
Yeah, but there are some monumental parallels. No matter what you do, if you don't,
no matter what, they definitely parallel each other for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, because it's all the business. It's all the same business.
Right.
It's just on different levels. And I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and the guy made a pretty good point. He was talking about, well, I don't know if I used to think butt rock meant something else
Mm-hmm.
other than what this guy was suggesting. He was suggesting that it was all the bands like Shinedown and um, Seether and all the
That
bands
style. That
all the bands that came out in like the early 2000s,
right.
or maybe somewhere between 2000 and 2010.
Right.
A lot of those bands, he was like, talking about how Three Days Grace, and he just went on to mention bands, and they're all in kind of the same genre, yes, but they have the same feel,
Right.
right? If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. You could throw them all on a show and everybody would see how they would come together.
Right.
Yeah.
Throw them all on a show, a tour, a CD or something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody would be like, yes, this flows, So he mentioned, a bunch of those, and on this, I don't think it was a podcast. It was just some kind of like review on the sound. And he was specifically talking about butt rock is what he called it, but it was that, like we talked about, it was that Shinedown type, Seether type sound. And he say that, although a lot of people like dismiss it as kind of like, I don't know what the term would be, almost like contrived.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's a contrived kind
like
of thing.
cookie cutter, like it's a very formulaic kind of
very
sound.
contrived. It just kind of cookie cutter sound, and a lot of people would kind of like blow it off and say, yeah, you know what, it's not anything that has a message or makes a statement or anything like that. But yet he made a really good point, and Godsmack was involved. He mentioned Godsmack. He mentioned Disturbed.
Right.
A lot of the bands that you and I like,
So it sounds to me like anything currently popular in the hard rock scene, he was labeling under butt rock.
Well, I mean, yes and no, because a lot of those bands that were mentioned are very popular still.
Right.
In the current hard rock scene, or as they call in the business, the active rock scene. The active rock Billboard charts, that dictates what is top of the top. So
yeah, a lot of the stuff they play on Sirius,
Five Finger Death Punch. He mentioned Five Finger Death Punch,
Mm-hmm.
Octane, exactly,
Okay.
Absolutely. So he was mentioning that stuff, and he was just saying that he thought a lot of the songs were really good songs, and he was mentioning other bands like Asking Alexandria, and I can't think of the name right now, but there's another one of those bands that were at one time kind of like on the edge of being like a what would it be considered, like not necessarily screamo, but it was kind of like that dark, really heavy metal. It's not death metal, but you know what I'm talking about.
Very scream heavy.
I
started to say emo until you said that. And I was like, no, they didn't really scream.
No, but it was kind of like that flavor. It was like almost like a hardcore, but it had a little bit of singing in it. But he was basically saying that those bands decided to go with a hook, like a lot of hook,
right?
Because that's where the money was at.
Was he implying that as like a negative, like they were just following the machine, or what?
No,
like, how
not
was
for
he
him.
okay.
For him personally, he thinks that all those. He agrees with the fact that there's a lot of people that love that music, and he says that there's a reason for that. And he says because basically it's pleasing to the ear.
Yeah.
And he said that he also liked a lot of that music.
I don't understand why. At what point does it become, oh, you're too popular? I mean, we opened for Death Punch during their what was their first album? War is the Answer, wasn't it?
Yeah, the first
we
first
played their
release.
CD release show. Like that shit.
Mhm.
They're not much different than they were then. So what made them hardcore heavy metal then, and now it's butt rock now? You know what I mean? Like what?
Yeah. Well, they've always had hooks. I think
Exactly.
they've
That's my
always had
point.
the
So
hooks.
I mean,
Uh,
what was butt rock when they had just started then?
It's been, see, that's the thing is this guy was, and he made a point of saying it's been kind of considered butt rock since the 90s. The 90s and all the way through till pretty much today. Because I mean, you're right. Five Finger Death Punch was thrown in the mix.
Yeah.
Disturbed, Godsmack, Seether.
And I love Five Finger Death Punch. I mean, they honestly have climbed to being one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
I don't
They're
want to
ripping.
shake my butt to them. I want to bang my head and sometimes punch a hole in the wall. So I'm like, maybe we should rebrand the term butt rock and come up with
I
a new
don't know
one. You
where
know?
that butt rock name came from. I used to think that it was a term pointed towards like the late 80s rock.
Yeah.
Like kind of like the glam scene.
Yeah.
Almost. So I don't know, but I guess not. Dude, I didn't pay much attention to it. I'm like, whatever you want to call it. Is the music good or not?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, that's the one thing people also got to remember is yes, there is a formula to writing good songs. Yes, you can follow that formula and write a hit if you really want to. And yes, there is a path to success not to do that. There ain't nothing wrong with either way.
Well,
you know.
And to be honest with you, in this particular, I'll have to look for it, give this guy some credit. But in this particular video, he mentioned the fact that it's not the easiest thing in the world to write a hit. So you think, okay, writing a radio hit's easy, and fuck that, I'm going to be true to the metal and all this shit and whatever. But the truth is, it's not as easy as it sounds to write a hit song.
Yeah.
You know, something that turns into a radio song that people like gravitate towards.
Well, I would argue personally, I would say that if you're going to call something a hit, it's because it did everything it was supposed to be.
Right.
You know, if you look at Living on a Prayer, I don't know why I thought of it, but it is undeniably one of the biggest hits ever. You know, you could say it was a hit because it was well written. Okay, well, you could say there's a ton of different songs that would hold up musically, lyrically, everything else to Living on a Prayer. Why did Living on a Prayer do so much? Well, he did the job. He wrote the song. He got on the road. He promoted it properly. Everything came together. And let's be real. We all know sometimes you got to win the lottery. You know, there is so much that needs to come together to make a hit song. So can you write good music? Yes. Does that mean it's going to be a hit? Nuh-uh. So writing a hit is one of the hardest things to do because that doesn't mean just because you got good music doesn't mean you turn it into a hit. You got to do the fucking work and put it through the test, you know?
Yeah. Well, we've had a producer on this show, and we're probably going to have another producer on this show at some point, maybe many producers at some point.
I'm sure.
Music producers. But the one thing that I have gotten from working with these music producers that I respect and think are good at what they do is that it's almost unnecessary part of the entire project. It's very necessary. You having that outside ear is so important. It really is. And, you know, I won't get into it too much, but the truth is I really do notice the difference between self-producing and bringing in another guy that's got a whole different take on what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And getting him to see your vision and follow it while, you know, still doing what he does, but staying true to your vision to a certain degree, that's magical.
Yeah.
If you can get that to happen, you're in good hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're probably going to get a hit at that point. You know, especially if you're a very passionate band, he's going to help you mold that song into something that's going to be stuck in people's heads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think we've been there, dude. Like you said, you know, we've had offers or we got real close to signing deals with record labels in the past.
Yeah.
My band Ravenscroft now signed a deal. You know, and we're happy with the label that we work with. Prior to that, Serpent Underground, the band that you and I were in, we had a very, very close deal almost come through, and it was with a big deal, record label. I'm not going to mention it right now because I think we need to move on to other subjects. But the point is that I think when you have a lot of talent, people recognize it. But I think that the bells and whistles are very important. And a lot of people seem to forget about that.
You have to embrace the smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
If you don't, what are you doing?
Mirrors.
It's performance art.
Yeah.
Really
and what
is.
you mentioned before as well, the working your ass off behind the scenes is so super important, because nobody wants to work with somebody who's lazy. You know, they want to work with someone who's going to hold up their weight,
Well, and if you have one person doing one thing, that's great. If you have one person doing one thing while two people are holding on, that's rough. Because if those other two people were pushing as hard, all of a sudden you're exponentially moving forward. And it's always about moving forward. And this is in really any industry, but especially in entertainment. You can't stop. I mean, if you do, you're screwed. You really are. You have to find a way to move forward. Anyways, moving on. We got off on a tangent with the music, and trust me, people, that's going to be a normal thing. Let's talk about the show for a little bit, because we haven't had a chance to really dive in. We've been talking to people and getting, I don't know, dude. It's been a blur. These 2 months have been insane. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I mean, we did kind of talk about it a little bit. What'd you have in mind specifically?
Just how are we feeling? How are you feeling about the show, dude? How so far? How do you like it? Is there any standout moments? Is there anything that you're like, you know what, dude, that was really fucking cool? Like,
I love it, dude. But you know what? That's just me. I think this is awesome what we're doing here. This is a lot of fun, man. We're two guys that have been involved in the entertainment business on multiple levels throughout our lives. And, we've talked about this too before, what the people consider you successful or not doesn't mean that you haven't accomplished a great deal throughout your life. And so what people deem successful doesn't always add up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because a lot of people judge it by, financial. You know what I mean? Or are you super rich? You know what I mean? Do you have a huge house and like a lot of toys? That to me is not, that doesn't deem you successful, in my opinion. That just means that you got lucky and you made money. I know guys that nobody knows from Moses. You know what I mean? They're like, I don't know who the hell this guy is. He pulled over and he had a Starbucks in his hand. He's like, hey, what's going on? Do you know me? No, I don't know you, dude. But you know what? That guy's got a house the size of freaking, I mean, it's just immaculate. It's a mansion. It's not even a house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's got a bunch of toys, a bunch of cars, boats, stuff like that. The guy's rich off his ass, you know what I mean? But nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
So he's financially successful. Cool. But does that mean that he was successful in life outside of that? Not necessarily.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, even some of the richest dudes leap off of buildings because they just can't handle it.
Exactly.
It's not about money when you come.
It's really not about all of that, really. But I like to think that I'm proud of the show, because I like to think that what we're doing with this is opening up like a whole other forum for people that have worked their asses off and have done some really cool stuff and are really amazingly talented people that a lot of the world doesn't know about. Not to say that this little show that we have here is going to get them out there in a huge way.
It's not about that, though.
It's not about
that. The thing is for me, when it comes to it, is like the same thing. Like, there's a lot of people, and I have come to realize especially over the last 3 years, how much the success of this industry matters to me. You know, where somebody talks about, you know, oh, I go to work every day because I believe in this company and it makes me who I am and I have to do my best to make, you know, I mean, there are people out there and I respect them. And I honestly have become that for the entertainment industry. You know, I've been doing it my entire fucking life. And now I realize, like, if I'm going to do anything in this industry, I want to hold it up in any way I can. And I know if we do it right, we build a crew that will believe in what we do. And it's already showing, you know. I mean, we've had friends, but we've been dedicated our lives into this shit. And, you know, they're stepping up. They're like, fuck yeah, we see it. You know, we've got the fans, the audiences are listening. I had a dude from Sweden, shout out. I had a dude from Sweden hit me up and be like, hey, dude, the audio's a little quiet. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Thank you. Because at least I know people are listening and I can make changes and make it better, you know? So to see people reaching out and believing in what we're doing means so much more. And this feels like it's already growing. It's amazing what it is. And to be able to bring on and show people who we admire and why, and to be able to have these conversations like we do about, you know, honestly, fuck this old school way of, you know, so what do you do? You know, no. Let's talk about the business and what did you think about that? We just had a big old thing about what we think makes a good record label and why it's smart to think that way. You know, get into the brass tacks of the shit, you know? To have that platform and to be able to be supported is insane.
It totally is. And I don't want this show to become something that people, in order for them to appreciate it, have to be on some level involved in the entertainment business.
Not at all. No.
And I don't believe it will be that way, only for the reason that I think that most people that love entertainment, like truly love it, like they can't wait to hear that next album. They can't wait to go see that next movie. They can't wait to start binge watching a show on Netflix that they're into because season 1 kicked their ass. I'm not just talking about that, but those kind of people, honestly, those kind of people are creatives. A lot of them.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many of them have a creative inside them dying to come out. But either way, we feed each other. We feed off of each other because you and I, we have our heroes.
Yeah.
You know what
100%.
I mean? 100%. People that we look up to, you know, we've talked about it since day one, Joe Rogan. Mm-hmm. We totally look up to him and what he's doing with his podcast. I'm not trying to do what he's doing.
And I don't necessarily agree with some of the shit he says. I mean, sometimes he goes off on rants. I'm like, oh my God, dude, shut the fuck up. You know? And I'm sure he would be like, thank you. Thank God somebody says it. But I mean,
say that to my face, dude. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, and the thing though is I believe if I was able to meet him, he would understand what that means. Like I respect the shit out of him, but I don't have to agree with everything he says or put him on a platform. But what I do is I look up to his success. I look up to how he handles himself. You know,
I do think he's the one thing I like about Joe is he seems like a pretty down to earth cat. You know what I mean? He seems like the kind of guy you could have a conversation with, and he's not going to be he's not going to be a jerk about it. He's just going to, okay, yeah, let's talk about it. But why do you feel that way? Oh, well, this is why I feel this way about it. And, you know, he seems like that I'm sure there's some things that he's very passionate about. And I know that that's absolutely true. It's a fact.
Yeah.
But I don't think if he does come across as a jerk, I look at it this way. It reminds me of myself on the sense that sometimes I know I come across, and you've been my friend for a long time, so you can be honest about this.
Yeah.
Sometimes I come across as a jerk, but I don't mean it to be that way. I'm just trying to be honest and cut to the chase. Yeah. And sometimes people go, okay, man, slow down. You know, take it back a notch or so. And sometimes when you get really passionate about something, you just kind of do that. You know what I mean? You dive right in. You don't think about what you're saying. And then later on, you're like, yeah, I could have probably rephrased that a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, reworded it. But either way, I think what we're doing is cool, man. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to like it. I think a lot of people, once people start finding out about the channel, because that's the biggest right now. That's the biggest challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. We are full in the grind.
We need to get the people out there that are watching this show, even if it's not every episode.
Hint,
that doesn't
hint.
matter. If you kind of like
hang on. You out there, hint. Go ahead, Ralph. Whatever you were saying.
Well, yeah. If you're digging some of the stuff that we're putting out there, you know what? Help us out. Because that's the only way that this is going to get out there more. And obviously, the more we're out there, the more people are going to take us seriously in the business, and we're going to be able to bring you a lot of really great interviews with a lot of really cool people in the industry and outside and behind the scenes and you name it. It's not just musicians. It's going to be people that work in the movie business and television and, writers and artists and
pretty much anybody, dude. Basically, the gist for anybody who comes on is if they resonate with us,
That's right. We've been talking about.
We've crammed the word down our throats, dude. Or I have, not we. I have, but everybody's got a story in some way that makes them undeniable. You got to find your story and run with it. It doesn't mean you've got to be a superstar or a movie star. It doesn't mean you've got to be a musician. But everybody's got that one thing that drives them to be who they are. And that aspect of life in its core, that has always fascinated me about it. What is it about? Like, I mean, I know he's also a superstar, but Laird Hamilton is a world-renowned surfer. How do you fucking become a world-renowned surfer? Shit like that, like anybody like that. So I'm not going, we're only doing musicians, because I'm fascinated about the world too. So.
Yeah. No, for sure. There's guys out there, I think, that would be great guests.
Yeah.
And, that have nothing to do with the entertainment business at all, really.
Yeah.
But they have just really cool stories, man, and we were kind of talking about this earlier on the phone. The movies that are saying, they say it's based on a true story, you know what I mean? So you're all like thinking, wow, this really happened, then later on you find out it was like really loosely based on it. It's always like at the end of the movie, they show you like, you're like watching this actor and actress throughout the whole movie. And there's like a love scene and all this stuff. And they're like all beautiful and perfect. And then at the end, they show you the real people and you're like, ooh.
Yeah. That's not Charlize Theron. What the fuck?
So some of it is definitely smoke and mirrors, but I think that's just a part of life, and I think that's a cool part of it, is that you get to bring that out and go, you know what? Because there's guys out there that have done some amazing things in life,
right?
Like they have made history on some major levels. And they've had movies made about them based on their life.
Yeah.
So it was based on a true story. But, they're never going to pick some homely looking actor to play them. They're going to pick the Denzel Washingtons. They're going to pick, all the really good looking actors out there that are great actors and known for their work, But that's who they're going to pick. They're not going to pick some slob,
Based on actual events. That's what that's the name of this episode, dude. Just gonna be called "Based on Actual Events."
I know, right?
All right. So, what was your favorite episode? Like, did you have a standout interview we did so far?
That's God dang, dude. Why you gotta put me on the spot? That's a tough one, because honestly.
You don't have to pick one. Just throw some out there, because we're just reminiscing about the show right now and trying to get a feel for shit.
There's quite a few. I got to admit, I was really, really happy with the Patrick Kennison interview.
Yeah, he was fun.
I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I thought Patrick had a lot of cool stories to tell. He's really down to earth, man. Yeah. What he's a talented dude, got a lot of respect in the industry. and he's undeniable.
Yeah.
Like we like to say. And it was cool that he gave us his time, and he's helping us promote it and stuff, and really pretty much got us Nikki to come on, Nikki Stringfield.
Yeah, him and Nikki both were special episodes. They were really great. I agree.
She was
great.
Nikki was great too. I had a lot of fun with her. That was a blast.
Yeah.
But like I said, there was a lot. My buddy Steve Santini, that episode is close to my heart because he's one of my closest friends. You know what I mean?
And Steve is one of the most fascinating motherfuckers, dude.
Oh, he is.
Oh my God, dude.
He's an amazing talent and an amazing human being, and it was great to have him on.
And people were having more. He's coming back on for at least 1 or 2 more episodes because he's got so much more to talk about. I mean, we just got into his escape stuff.
I think people are gonna find him fascinating. I know they do, as a matter of fact, because he's got a YouTube channel, and it's doing pretty well, actually.
Yeah, Relics from the Dark Side. Go check it out on YouTube, people. Not right now. We're doing an episode. Wait until this is over, then go check it out. Okay.
Yeah, we just got to be sure, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, those call to actions will fuck you in the end. You'll be like, go on, go check that guy. And they're like, okay, and fucking click you out.
Yeah, go check out that guy, and then he's gone for. I guess we call these house shows.
Yeah, we'll call them. Well, we are in the houses. We're in our house.
Yeah,
And eventually, I'd like these to evolve. This is literally episode 2 of our house shows. I mean, we're still getting the feelers out and what we're going to talk about and how we're going to handle things. We've got other shit, but I'd like to. The more we build this, I'd like to have emails, have people come in and go, "Hey, we saw this. What do you think about this?" We can address those things.
Yeah,
we're going to talk. I mean, when it comes to this, I really want to get into the in-depth. We'll get into business talk and just have fun with that stuff. But
it'd be really cool if we could start getting some of the people that are subscribing. The subscribership is starting to grow now. We're seeing some growth.
Yeah. Welcome new people. Thank you, and continue to support. We love it. We're gonna make this thing rise.
So make sure after you subscribe, you ring the bell as well, so that you get all the notifications. The thing is, too, we want you guys to participate. So not only like the videos and share the videos, but also we want you to comment on them and give us your opinion. Share your thoughts with us. And if you have any questions or anything that you'd like us to do, or any guests that you might like us to look into having on the show, just email us. The email is ALHSY, for a lot's happened since yesterday. And then it's questions. So ALHSY questions@gmail.com. Pretty easy to remember. And I'm sure Cody's going to put it in the description.
Yeah, it'll be running that whole time right there, dude. Just
well, here we go, dude. You know what?
What?
Let's talk about crazy current events.
Motherfucker. Okay, so when we started this, I thought, what are we going to talk about? How are we going to do this? And then I woke up and our industry just lost their fucking minds. Let's get into it.
What the fuck is going on with the whole Marilyn Manson thing, dude? It was like it feels like just yesterday I was rocking out to the beautiful people, you know what I'm saying? And now here we are going, holy shit.
He was beating up the beautiful people.
He was beating them up, and now he's getting beat up.
He was like, I'm gonna set the beautiful people on fire, apparently. What the fuck, dude?
I don't know, dude.
So in case you guys haven't been privy, Evan Rachel Wood, the actress who was at one point in her early years going with Marilyn Manson, which I believe was a long time ago. I think she was like 19 or something like that. She came out yesterday on Twitter and basically said all of the reasons she's been fighting against the abuse and all the stuff she went through. The toxic relationship she was referring to was Marilyn Manson. And now he has been raked over every coal I can see. I mean, he's got no label.
How old is she now?
Let's find out.
Old she is now. Yeah.
Right now, she's 33.
And so you're saying she was about 19 when all this went down? All these shenanigans?
Yeah, let's look at this real quick. Dude, no shit, man. It's kind of fucked up.
Really?
And then Jenna Jameson has come out. And, whoa. Can you hear that, or am I just making that noise for no reason? Jenna Jameson has claimed that Marilyn Manson fantasized about burning her alive.
Burning her or burying her?
Burning her. Like setting her on fire. Burning her alive.
Wow.
So, yeah. So,
well, you said she was about 19 at the time that she's claiming all this happened. How old is she now?
She's like 30. She was 19 and he was 38. And I think she's 33 now. Yeah, she's 33. So, yeah, dude. It's not good for him. Not good for him at all. It's how I don't know, man. I don't know. He's come out since and has claimed that on his Twitter he said something to the effect that everything he's done with his ex relationships have been consensual and this is now being blown up to anything. But I don't know, dude. It's weird. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. They damn sure canceled his ass. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
He's no label, I don't think he has an agency anymore. They cut him from the AMC show. He is like
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. You know what I mean? I really don't. This is all news to me. So
well, it's a bitch because on one side, if you look at somebody who was 19 and doing this stuff, and even if they were having a consensual relationship that was, what most vanilla people would consider a little out there, people like to get a little kinky, whatever, not judging, but if you're 19 and he does something that you click into your brain that is bad, now fear's taken over. This has now dictated your life. No communication. I don't know. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying anything from it, and I'm damn sure not saying she's lying. I believe what she's saying, but it is so fucking holy shit. It's like, I think one of the big things is he changed our personal industry, so it's like nah, come on, please let this be something different. It's bad.
There's always going to be marks, man.
Yeah.
There's always going to be strikes against those in the entertainment industry, period, let alone, the heavy metal. I mean, look at what's his name from Iced Earth. There was all that
John Schaefer,
that nonsense that went down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that looks negative on the heavy metal community. Now this with Marilyn Manson looks negative on the heavy metal community. But you know what I mean? You're always going to find these marks on everything because none of us are perfect.
Yeah.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to justify Marilyn Manson's actions because I don't know what he did.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the case, to be honest with you.
You're literally just hearing, this is a blind reaction from you.
Yeah.
You really haven't read anything about it.
It's current events.
Yeah,
so
it's breaking news. We don't really know much about it.
But do I, Marilyn Manson, do I think that there's a strong possibility he's kind of freaky? Yeah. Fuck. Have you seen his fucking music videos? Have you heard his music? I mean, yeah, the guy's a little bit freaky.
Yeah, there's some darkness there for sure.
There's definite darkness, and there's theatrical darkness, and then there's real darkness. And I think Marilyn Manson, I don't know, maybe it was theatrical. Who knows? But
what the biggest issue I have is his personal assistant. The guy comes out and is like, "Don't call them liars. This is real." I'll give him credit. He flat said, "I don't believe in the cancel culture. I'm not trying to cancel Marilyn Manson." But what he was saying was Marilyn Manson is a genius, brilliant artist who has an has an addiction problem and needs help. He goes, those two people can exist in the same entity, And so it's like, I don't know. For me, that did raise the question is like, how far do you go before you go, you know what? Fuck it. Ruin this guy's life. I'm not saying anything he did was right, but at some point it's like, wait a minute. Do you get to remove everything?
Yeah. It's kind of rock and roll, man. I mean, Do we? Who's next? Elvis? We're gonna remove Elvis from history. Are we gonna remove the Beatles from history? Are we going to remove Led Zeppelin from history?
Yeah.
Are we going to remove
There's some
Maiden
crazy fucking
from history?
rumors.
I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
right now, dude. Who's next?
Yeah.
That's what it feels more like to me. I hate to say it, but it's true.
Well, it gets
I mean,
dangerous. I'm
don't
not
get me-
saying he's not an asshole if he did this shit. Yeah, that's disgusting. And if he did this shit, yes, he needs to retribution and all that shit needs to happen.
Yeah.
But what if at the end of this we all find out, you know what? This was a complete and total shit show of a relationship. But that's all it ended up being. People get to justify, oh, fuck Marilyn Manson, he was a freak and so we got rid of him. That's scary, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm not even talking about the act. I'm strictly just talking about cancel culture. You know, I don't condone anything they're saying he did. That's disgusting.
Cultures. Yeah. I understand why people are up in arms about it because it makes sense. It's like, hey, you know what, dude? You know.
And there is the argument of you have to separate the art from the artist. There is that argument, you know.
Well, there's that argument, and I mean, who's never been drunk before, you know, or high or something, and you know what I mean? You probably did something that later on you're like, fuck, that was stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It happens. It's happened to a lot of people, and a lot of people that are not in the limelight, they're not affected by that.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And that's the thing that we need to keep in consideration is that people that are not in the limelight, people that don't have a lot of money to go after, nobody goes after them. Nobody goes, oh, that person slapped my ass back in 86 or some shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Nobody gives two fucking shits about that.
Yeah.
That person. They don't care. Because they're not well known, they're not in the limelight, and they don't have any money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I really do. I hate to say it, but I think a lot of it is like trying to do either the dirty deed of getting back to the person because maybe they did fuck you on some level, maybe not exactly what has been alleged. But
yeah,
I think on some level, you know, just relationships go bad all the time.
Dude.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
A toxic relationship is never just one way most of the time.
Right. Exactly.
Again, people, disclaimer, I am not talking about Marilyn Manson at this point. I'm just talking in generalities now.
Yeah, this is in general. It's not. No, we're not saying that he's innocent or anything.
No. We're just talking generalities at this point because I guess my question with all this is, you know, you hear the shit that Cosby did and was convicted for, and you're like, okay, that's pretty fucked up. But there are still people who go, yeah, he was an asshole, but goddamn, his jokes were funny. I personally, for whatever reason, I can't listen to Cosby anymore without going, yeah, fuck that guy. I don't want to support this content because fuck that person. But where is the line, I guess, is what I'm saying. You know, right now we have somebody who was in apparently a terribly abusive relationship. Does that mean she gets to remove everything that dude is?
Yeah. We don't know any of the circumstances. You know what I mean? I have no idea. You know?
Yeah, she just has just come out and just came out swinging for the fucking fences, obviously.
Yeah.
And she connected. I mean, the shit she said is pretty disturbing in terms of what she's saying, and it's like, fuck me, dude.
Well, you gotta wonder though, why now? Why now? Why didn't you do that 10 years ago? You're 30-something years old now.
Yeah.
Why?
That's always the question. Fear's a terrible thing. You know, I mean, she was 19. I mean, like I said, I don't know. There's all those questions, and a lot of people who get all butthurt when you try to find out what's going on will be like, "Don't victim shame." It's not victim shaming or victim blaming. There's, you know, at this point, somebody was put on the fucking chopping block to lose everything. Questions need to be asked. You know. And I'm not saying I absolutely believe her and her fear and her problems. But we need both sides if you're going to take it public, it needs to be publicly known.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's a shame. The label dropping him, and he was on a TV show. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think it was on. I don't know if he was on it or they were working on putting him on American Horror Story, but he's not there no more. So, and then though at the same time, again, this is the country. If I was working for a company and they were like, yeah, this dude supposedly, threatened to, beat his girlfriend's head in with a hammer and fantasize about burning her alive. It kind of makes your shit look bad. You might want to be like, yeah, dude, let's get rid of this guy. We might have to go ahead and cut ties. I can't say I blame them.
Yeah, no, it is that's kind of creepy shit for sure.
Yeah.
Not kind of creepy. It's totally creepy. But I guess, with Marilyn Manson, you almost expect it. You know what I mean? It's like going on a date with Stephen King and not expecting him to go. You know what I mean? It's just like creepy for no reason whatsoever.
Just stare at you for a while and start writing something
like,
down.
Oh, he's all drinking the wine. He's all, I'm gonna kill you later.
She's like, I think I want dessert. And he's like, what did you say?
But he's just fucking with you because the guy's been around for a long time. So I don't think he's got any dead bodies lying around anywhere.
Well, not anymore. They've probably all been disintegrated, I'm sure. But no, and the thing is, but then on the other hand, though, to answer the other question that you asked, which is why wait now, is wait until the iron's hot and then fuck you 6 ways a Sunday because you done fucked up. I mean, at the end of the day, she's like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm gonna end this motherfucker. I could see it. People are vengeful motherfuckers, dude. Like what if he did this? What if let's play the other way? What if what she's saying is 100% true?
I'm gonna end this motherfucker. Wow. Okay.
I mean, she did. Let's not no uncertain terms, man. At this point in time, his shit's over.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
At least right now, I would like to think that after all is said and done, let's say all is said and done, and it was all a misunderstanding or whatever, it would not be nice to be like that everybody who dropped him would pick him back up and be like, okay, dude, cool. I don't know if that happens in this world anymore, but
yeah, and I don't know, man. It's just a weird thing that goes down. Like I struggle with this because I'm still having a hard time with Kevin Spacey, man. I seriously am. I fucking love that fucking guy. I get it. Okay, he did something fucking stupid and dumb. Oh, man. But really? Ruined his entire career?
Yeah.
Because he got stupid drunk one time and did something.
Well, and that's the thing. Again, we're assuming like one time or something like that. If we're talking years, then that's a totally different story.
Okay.
And he's a piece of shit.
Okay, look. Back in the Serpent Underground days, before you joined the band,
right?
Okay, and I normally don't tell stories like this. This story I've tried to stay away from for years.
Okay,
because it's a little bit derogatory towards women.
Okay,
not in the sense that I had anything to do with that, but we were doing a battle of the bands. We were playing. I believe it was the Viper Room. Okay. We were playing the Viper Room, doing a battle of the bands. And there were these girls up in front, and they were drinking a lot. Mm-hmm. And so I came up and I did my thing because, I would always go up in front and try to get into the crowd and look into their eyes and sing to them. You know what I mean? And especially if there were people up in front, I tried to connect with them. So that's what I would do at parts of the song, And so it's one part of the song, I go up and I'm singing to this one girl, and she just comes over and she reaches up and she's got a drink in one hand. And then with her other hand, she reaches over and she grabs me by the crotch.
Was it like full-blown cuppage?
Like a full-blown cuppage.
Oh my God.
Had grabbed my entire package and fucking squeezed on it.
Oh shit!
And I was like, "Whoa!" I mean, I'm over here singing, dude, performing, and I'm just like, "Oh,
yeah,
damn!" You know what I mean? And my bass player looks over at me, Tony, and he's all laughing. He's all pointing. He's like, he can't get over it. So at the time, I played keyboards on certain parts of the songs. So I went over and I go on with the show and I'm playing the keyboard. And this chick she's got the drink in her hand and she starts throwing ice at me. And it's like falling on my keyboard.
Why? Because you didn't let her finish?
I don't know, dude. Like trying to get my attention. She's throwing ice cubes at me. And it's all going on my keyboard and I'm seeing water melt down onto my keys. And I'm like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean? She's about to ruin everything. And so I'm just like, no. I'm trying to stop her from doing it. And one of her friends grabbed her or whatever. And she was plastered, man. But the whole point behind this whole story is that girl plastered, dude. She had no idea what she was doing at that moment. I don't think.
No,
at all.
Not at all.
I think the next day she had no recollection of it. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
She probably has a story where people go, yeah, she got drunk on this thing, was grabbing the singer's dick. We had to pull her off, the whole thing. And but no, dude, you don't understand. In this climate, she raped you. And she should lose her job. Now, again, we're not talking about Marilyn Manson here. We're talking about what's getting crazy.
That's my point.
Yeah.
If that chick turned into a pop star and was on top of the world right now, and I came out and said, yeah, I remember her. She's the one that grabbed my sack.
Oh, people, the rock star life. Could you imagine you busting into a door? She's at work and you've got like a fedora on and a trench coat. You're like, she's the one who grabbed my sack.
One more time, dude, please.
What, you want with the roll of the R's?
Yeah.
She's the one who grabbed my sack.
And people wonder why we're friends.
Lots happens
That's
yesterday.
fucking hilarious.
See what happened yesterday? Somebody grabbed the sack, and we got to figure. But no, but that's where it can get crazy when you get out of control with shit, and it gets to that level. Like I said, where does the line get drawn? Honestly, and people tell us what you think.
I'm not comparing that story to the Marilyn Manson story. Not on any level. I literally don't know anything about that story. I don't.
From what I've read, it's rough. It's not a one-off. Okay. I was drunk situation. It was like
right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not comparable.
It was like full-blown abuse, and that's terrible.
Could that happen technically?
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it has.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive it's happened to people before. So.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I mean, Jesus Christ! Look at what they've talked about R. Kelly doing allegedly.
Yeah.
I mean.
I don't even know, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's crazy shit right there.
Yeah.
Especially if it's minors, then that's when that becomes a serious issue.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but
No.
I don't know what Marilyn Manson did or may have not done. I am a fan of his music, but you know what I mean. I'm not trying to say that I'm not down with, him getting what he deserves if he did some heinous acts.
Oh, if this is real, fuck that guy.
He should be punished.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For sure. I just don't know about how I feel about the whole cancel culture thing. I think.
So let's say that just play. Let's have a thought experiment with that and play devil's advocate. Comes out. Let's say they have proof that everything Evan said was true, and he just Jenna Jameson came out and she's like, yeah, here's the pictures that he was pretending to light me on fire. I mean, apparently at one point she claims that she woke up to him having sex with her because he thought she was unconscious. So like it was more than just like that. But my point is, let's say all of that becomes undeniably true. Like we all know. Can you turn on Beautiful People and separate that? Are you able to crank that and be like, yeah, dude, I fucking love this song because I remember when I was at that show, or does it taint it?
Well, it's always been tainted though, because it's a tainted song. It's not for the weak-minded or the weak-hearted. It's for people that understand that life is hard And there's a lot of shit he's saying in that song. If you read the lyrics,
Yeah.
man, he's got a message behind it for sure. And it's not a pleasant one.
Right.
So,
So you think if like he goes to jail and shit, say that happened.
The dude wrote a song called Cake and Sodomy, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying that he's not obviously a dark motherfucker. I'm saying if he, like I said, he goes to jail because all of this shit becomes true. Say that. When you turn on Beautiful People, are you still like, fuck yeah, Manson? Or do you personally, I'm just asking. Like, are you able to separate that? Manson. That's how I do every show. Any band. Fuck yeah. Maiden.
Manson.
Maiden,
yeah.
Yeah, anybody.
Fuck yeah. Manson.
Fuck yeah. Burt Bacharach. It works.
Burt Bacharach. No, I don't know, dude. I can't answer that. I mean, on some levels for me, and this is going deeper than I'd like to get, to be honest with you, is I'm teeter-tottering on my comfort level with this conversation right now.
Just say stop and we'll move on.
Okay. Well, for right now, though, I will say this. And just because I think that there is a certain amount of truth to it, on some level, where does it go from these people had their personal issues and their own private lifestyle that they had? I mean,
that's what he's claiming. He's claiming they had their freaky shit, but it was all consensual, and you're not going to call me an abuser. It was all consensual.
Yeah. Where do you draw the line between swingers and people that are into S&M?
Yeah.
And the bondage thing, and
well, that's where it gets weird though, because if you go into that world and talk to those people, there is clear-cut lines. The more lines, the better with them. They're like, you tell us your safe word, you do not cross this line, you don't do these things, and they stick to that. So I guess that in that sense, the line is if if they go,
there are people that are not that they're not that what's the word I'm looking for? They're not that organized.
No, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They don't have it planned out. There are people that, I've had friends of mine tell me that they were having sex with somebody and the chick was like, oh, choke me. You know what I mean? And they were serious. And, they did it because they were asking for them to do it.
And you're in the heat of the moment. It's what you do.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
I heard a story of somebody, and this is legitimately, it was on a radio. I want to say it was Mike Cathwart, I'm pretty sure, but I don't know. He said he was having sex with somebody, and the girl literally said, punch me in the face. And he reached up and tapped her on the cheek, and she's like, no, you fucking pussy. And she wanted him to literally, with a closed fist, lay her out because she was into like that. And he's like, I'm not doing that. There's people out there who do that shit. They like that.
Yeah. Yeah. They like freaky stuff. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But it's acceptable, especially on Pornhub.
Yeah.
But when it comes to reality, sometimes I don't know. I don't know if it's one of those things where people, maybe they're ashamed. And in some ways I tie it to, and I know this sounds weird, but I tie it to coming out. If you're gay or lesbian and you decide to come, or bisexual, you decide to come out of the closet and let people know, a lot of times, it's not well received or accepted. And that's, to me, it's kind of similar. It's like, do you all of a sudden now go, hey, sorry,
no, you're good.
My earplug out. But do you all of a sudden go, hey, I'm no longer going to be a fan of this comedian because I found out that he's gay? You know what I mean? But
there's a difference between being gay and being a fucking
but what if the person wants you to be abusive like that?
That's a different story.
We mentioned the S&M thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that that's the case with this situation.
Fuck, I wish we could get a hold of Amber right now and be like, look, you know that some people in the S&M, you know,
Who?
like Amber
Oh,
Lynn,
Amber
when we
Lynn?
had, remember we talked to Amber, she would probably know people or give us examples. Cause you're right. There are stringent lines and differences, and goddamn, you know, she knows more than we do about it. But,
Well, yeah,
but I'm just saying, like, because there has to be,
yeah.
my thought is,
I mean, I wonder
what
what
if
she
he is
thinks
in
about
that?
it.
I mean, he was 38 when he was with her, right? So he's a 38-year-old grown ass man. He knows what he likes. He has his kinks and his setups, and she's 19 with a superstar. Perhaps it was more of a fucking, you know, maybe she thought I'm in, got in too deep, and then was too terrified. And then when it's all over, who the fuck are you going to believe? Some girl who was with the superstar or the superstar right now?
Yeah, it's very possible, dude. Don't get me wrong.
That's rough, dude.
If he took advantage of this young lady, then that was wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't condone that kind of action at all.
Motherfucker, dude. Just that's all you can say is just like, what the fuck, bro?
I've never condoned any form forced on any level. That I think it's wrong. You know what I mean? It should be consensual. You know what I mean?
Like you said, unless it's consensual force. And that is a thing. Like those fantasies and shit exist. You know? Regardless, fucking A, how sucky for her to have lived that kind of life.
Yeah.
You know, because what if it is? What if he was like, what are you talking about? We were together, we had consents, this is what we talked about, and now you're telling me I raped you? What the fuck? You know? And this entire time she's been living this life? Fuck, dude, that would be terrible. You know?
This is a weird situation, man.
Well, I mean, the best we can say is it's a developing situation. We're literally speaking what we know, which is what everybody else knows, which is it literally came out today. So there's pretty much not much we know.
Yeah,
you know?
That's for sure. Speaking of not much that we know, Screech.
Yeah, what the fuck happened with that shit?
Sure about that?
Yeah.
The Saved by the Bell dude.
Yep.
What was his real name?
Dustin Diamond.
Dustin Diamond.
Yep.
What a trip, dude. The guy was like, what, 44?
Something like that, yeah. He was young.
Yeah.
He was fucking young, too young.
Wow.
And he announced he was sick only like less than a month ago.
Yeah, he got like some like chronic case of cancer.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
lung
some
cancer or
severe
something.
case. Yeah. And that it killed him in like a few weeks. Like crazy. They did say on the upside he didn't go through very much pain, but at the same time, what a trip, man.
Yeah.
Because 44 is young, man. You know, and to get like all of a sudden, boom. You know what? You've got like this severe case of cancer. You're gonna die.
Yeah.
And it's probably gonna kill you in a few weeks.
Yeah. Because it was straight out stage 4. He came out
That's
with like, I'm
terrifying.
Stage 4. Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Poor
I
dude.
would.
That sucks.
The plus side to that, like you said, though, is, you know, I think if I had to get that news, I'd really like to know. This is your last couple weeks, dude. Just get the fuck out. You know,
Yeah.
at least he didn't like suffer. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Here 1 minute, gone the next,
Yeah,
though. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
how it should
It's
be.
like,
It's funny,
really
that dude was
trippy.
such a polarizing character in the business. You know, I mean, he came off so polarizing after he left the Saved by the Bell show and stuff like that. But
yeah.
it was kind of cool to see the people come out and they're like, "Fuck, dude, this sucks." You know,
Yeah.
because I don't like to see anything bad happen to anybody. So
No. Yeah, it sucks. You know, there's no way around it. Cancer sucks.
yeah,
And
Hashtag
whenever
fuck
you hear
cancer.
about anybody. Yeah.
it's bullshit.
Fuck that shit. So
Anything else you want to talk about?
well, I know that you mentioned to me earlier this week about the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
And there was some craziness with GameStop.
Yeah, I'm
And-
not. It's fucking insane. Reddit just bitch slapped stock market basically. Yeah.
So what do you know about
Okay,
it? Do you know a lot or?
Disclaimer: I am not any kind of financial guy. I've only done a little bit of research, but apparently, what's common is the stock market will do things called a short squeeze. Okay, so what they'll do is they'll look at stocks and see that a stock is going to go down, and they'll anticipate it's going to go down. Okay, so they'll be like, "Hey, Ralph, let me borrow a stock." We'll just say it's one stock. You give me a stock, right? I buy it for $10. A week later, it's down to $5. I buy it back at $5. I've made $5 of profit. you get your stock back with such and such percentage on top of it. It's basically free money for me, and it's no lose for you because you're getting your stock back regardless. Okay? So apparently some dude in Reddit saw one of the big companies in Wall Street do that with GameStop. And he convinced all of the Reddit community to go in and buy as much GameStop stock as they can, forcing the price to go the opposite way. So when this company was waiting for the GameStop stock to drop, they instead now have to buy GameStop stock at $400 a share. And because of that and the way short sales work, they are required to buy the stock back and give it to them. So they had to buy it back. So what they ended up doing was they just cleaned house on all the GameStop stock and just held onto it, forcing those guys to pay it back. They went in like $1.8 billion or some shit in the hole.
Oh, shit.
But the biggest thing that I can gather that everybody's making a big deal out of it, because like I said, that's the best I understand it. All it did, though, was highlight, like, from what I can gather, is how kind of shady this shit is. Because when the people in Reddit did it, all of a sudden, the stock apps were not letting people buy or trade GameStop. They just shut them down. So people are now coming out and going, wait a minute, so a multi-million-dollar company on Wall Street can do this, but when we figure it out, you're saying it's illegal? So now a lot of questions are being raised. I really don't know the rest of it, but stocks are going ape shit right now. And they're doing it with, last I heard they were going to do it with GameStop, AMC, and BlackBerry of all things. Because those are the ones that apparently they were tanking. So everybody's like, just go buy the stock and hold on to it. They have to buy it back. It's ridiculous. But
That's crazy.
I don't. It's like when one thing comes out when they're like, oh, we're going to start rolling out the COVID vaccines. Now it's like, fuck the stock market. Or the stock market, not the Stark market.
Oh shit! Well, that's crazy, dude. I don't know a whole lot about the stock market, but that's wild. That sounds like some craziness. I remember 2000. Was it 2008?
What's that?
Like the crash. It was like
something like that, wasn't it?
The economy was like just went down. Hell,
when was that?
It was like mainly like a stock,
like the housing market crash and all that shit, right?
Yeah, 2008, 2009, somewhere around there.
In 2000, 7, 8, yeah. The housing market crash in 2008.
Things got really tough during that time period.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, as far as the music business goes, there's a rumor, and maybe you can Google this to double check. There's a rumor that the whiskey is opening up for some shows next month.
Huh?
So March. Yeah.
Really?
That's the rumor that I heard recently.
Okay. Wonder why. Or not why, but is it time?
That's what I'm saying. Is it too soon, or is it real? Is that really happening? My understanding is...
Hey, events. Oh, I'm on it already. I was like, where's the calendar? Let's see. Dawkins Lynch Mob, February 5th. That's, according to this, they're playing as far as up as February 5th. February 6th. That's this week. That's this weekend.
Yeah.
The Dickies on the 19th. Yeah, dude. 26th, 27th. Interesting. There's the Maidens. March 13th. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure you go check out Nikki Stringfield. That was an excellent episode. Power Man 5000 on the 19th. Yeah, dude. Fucking looks like they're... Well, as of right now, I got to believe it's running.
What a trip.
Yeah. So what do you think, dude? Oh, what does it say? At the direction of the governor and mayor will be closed effective. Oh, there. Yeah.
What?
Oh, I was looking at this.
Disclaimer or something.
Yeah, it says right here at the direction of the government. Well, what do you think about this, dude? I mean, they haven't even rolled out all of the vaccines.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I really wouldn't mind going to see the Maidens on the 13th.
Sure, I wouldn't mind going out.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind going in either of these shows.
Wouldn't mind going to see a show. Wouldn't mind playing a show.
Yeah,
but
But do you think they're opening? Do you think this shit got opened up because it's time, or do you think it got opened up because Newsom panicked?
Probably because he panicked.
I mean, he did inconveniently open everything up after the lawsuit came out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think probably that's what it is. So I don't know. There's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I totally get it. And yeah, everybody wants to get out.
Man. Oh my
man.
God, so bad.
Everybody wants to get out. People are tired of this confined to their own homes lifestyle.
Yeah.
People like going out, man. They do. And I think now that they can't, it's making them want it even more.
Yeah. The second they can, they're
Yeah.
How do you think, like, I'll be interested to see, how do you think a first show back would look?
Well, we were talking about this early on the phone. It might not be, you know what I mean? Because at first, initially, there's going to be people that are still going to have their concerns. And so they're not going to want to come out.
Yeah.
You know, but there's going to be the guys that are like, fuck it. You know, I don't give a shit.
Right.
I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, I've been staying at home, quarantined all this time, and I'm ready to get out and party, you know? And so I think there's definitely going to be some people that will do it. And, you know, definitely, I think the Orange County crowd kind of leans that way. So
Yeah.
I guess an Orange County show or here and there might be a good thing. I don't know about Hollywood, but maybe it might be a pretty big deal in Hollywood too now, because it's been a while.
It's been so,
How
dude,
long-
at this point,
How
what are
long
we, a year?
have we been? Yeah,
It'll be
it
a
feels
year.
like it.
Well, we're in
Yeah.
February. It was March 20th when we got shut down, pretty much.
That's right.
Yeah. So we're almost a year in.
So yeah, you're in. That's
I'll be
crazy.
interested to see, though, if those actually pan out or if they end up going no. I mean,
Yeah.
I wonder how the whiskey's going to handle it.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to call anybody out. These are just thoughts that I'm having. Like, there's so many variables right now. You know,
Yeah.
if the vaccines
don't
aren't
know.
completely rolled out, which I don't see them being rolled out in a week, you know,
Yeah.
then what? You know, it just seems, I don't know, because I read a thing.
There's so much talk about the wearing more than one mask and all this other shit,
Yep.
you know, and I'm just kind of like, oh, geez, you know. And then other people say, oh, it's worthless. And, you know, some people still think it's a hoax. And it's, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think honestly, above now, it's pretty much time. I think it's pretty clear that it's time for for people can make their own fucking decisions. You know, if you want to go to a show, you can. You know, I would like to think that venues start thinking about artist safety a little more. You know, I mean, if there is an issue and the artists want a little more safety, you can supply that. I would like to think that's just becomes a normal thing, you know, because honestly, to me, the one thing that happened with the COVID and the masks and anything like that is it's like, if this is all real with the masks and everything, wouldn't you want like to continue that trend after this is over? I mean, if we go and they go, hey, look, we're going to have a monster flu season. So if you get the flu, do me a favor, throw a mask on to keep people from getting sick. I mean, they do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've been doing that in certain parts of Asia for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe it's time to adopt that shit, you know?
Yeah.
If you're sick, don't go into a fucking office and get everybody else sick, you know?
Yeah. Or wear the gloves, use the, you know,
The sanitizers.
the sanitizers, and use the mask, obviously.
Yeah.
It's got to be doing something, man. The people in the medical industry have been using masks for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's got to be doing something, you know? And I would imagine, yeah, you don't want people's saliva going everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a part of life. It's normal. And I get it. And we don't even think about it. But when it comes down to something like this, where it could be something that affects your life or the people that you love, well, then it's a big deal. To me, it's just like putting on a jacket when you know it's going to be cold outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or gloves or whatever, a hat, if you know it's going to be sunny to cover your face from the sun. it's just precautions,
Yeah.
man. It's not a big deal. I think we should adopt that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why not? What's the big deal about it? It's not that big of a deal. I mean, yeah, there's moments where we don't want to have the masks on, but for the most part, when we're in a larger gathering, why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's more chances of us getting sick. Who wants to get sick? Even if you don't get COVID-19, you still don't want the flu.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
And I've always been that person. Like if I was at a job and somebody walked in and you could tell that, you've been there. You look and you're like, what the fuck are you doing here? I always go like, dude, I get it, but go home.
The problem is a lot. It's not just them. It's the employers there because they can't fill. They just don't have enough people to fill. When the flu season comes around, everybody and their mom is calling off, even if they're not sick. So,
but here's the thing: if we would just be like, okay, look, here's the deal. COVID has proven if you're sick, stay home. They're not going to fire you. We've already proven that most people or a lot of people can work from remote. If you're sick, work from home for that day. Be there, do what you know how to do, what we've done for the past fucking year. And then everybody would be more encouraged to be like, dude, I'm actually sick and I don't have to fucking worry about it. Because if you go, I'm sick, okay, cool, work from home. That doesn't mean you get the day off, work from home. We get, how many people right now? Tons of people have been working remotely,
Well, yeah, absolutely. What are your honest thoughts? Because I know that there's still people out there right now that think that the whole COVID-19 is completely overblown. The word hoax has been used, but even if the people that are considering that this is not legitimately a emergency situation, whether they're calling it a hoax or not, they're not taking it seriously.
Right.
They're taking it lightly. They're suggesting this is just like another flu, and nothing more.
Right.
What are your thoughts? What do you think? Because I'm not going to say fake or real. You know what I mean?
Well, it's obviously real. I mean, the hoax. I think when they talk about the hoax bullshit, I think it's more of about how they. How the media spins it, it's like, let's be real. When this whole fucking thing started, they were laying on the fear mongering very thick. But I think a lot of people don't like the idea that science don't give a flying fuck how you feel. If I'm a virus and you get it, you're going to get sick. That's what happens. You can yell about a mask. You can yell about going to work or not, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to change the fact that if you get it, you're going to have it, And then you got the people who want to say, see, I told you it was fake because I got it and I was, this person got it or I got it and I didn't have it. Okay. You didn't have any symptoms. Congratulations. There's a lot of people who get the flu and don't get really that sick either, But at its core, it's a virus doing virus shit. You get it. Your symptoms are going to be X. Whatever happens after that is going to happen. Right down to the same thing as the flu. If a person at a certain age with certain ailments gets the flu, chances are they ain't gonna make that flu. Am I saying that the COVID and the flu are hand in hand? Not at all. But they are viruses. They do the same similar shit. We're gonna have a vaccine that helps kick its ass, and then we're gonna move on with life. But as far as was this some government control thing? At its core, no. I think they were going, holy fuck, what happened? What do we do? Now, once they got everything, yes, it's a government control thing. A government in its core, government has to control. They are controlling peace. They're controlling order. They're trying to keep people from storming a Capitol because they think something's wrong. There's so many things that are going on. If you take up look at how a normal family dynamic works. Try to get a family of a household of more than 4 people or more to agree on dinner. What do you want to eat? I don't know. You want that? I'm good with whatever. Let's have pizza. Oh, I don't want pizza. What do you want? I'm not hungry. And you go out of your fucking mind just trying to figure out what you're going to feed somebody. It happens all the time. These motherfuckers are trying to control the sanity of millions of people. And then on top of that, you got people who claim they know more. This doesn't make sense. I caught him in a lie. Well, that guy makes sense. So maybe I'll listen to him rather than the people who are actually trying to do the fucking job. And then you have Bedlam. So do I think it was a control? Yeah, I think they had to do some shit because people were buying toilet paper for no fucking reason. You've got to curb that stupid shit, you know? I mean, they made a big deal that Fauci lied about the N95 masks, right? People were hoarding N95 masks. Well, if our frontline people can't get the most effective shit, you are now putting our frontline at risk. If our frontline dies, now what do we do? So Fauci goes, you know what? Stop it with N95 masks. Just use what you're going to use. Because he had to get his people the shit that keeps them alive to keep us alive. But let's not think about that aspect. Let's just consider the fact that he told us something that we didn't like, and now he's a liar, so it's got to be fake. There's a lot of pride going on in this debate, I think, and they politicized it a lot, and that's bullshit. This should be about the right thing. What is good for people? And yes, I agree with a lot of things. If it attacked the elderly or people at a certain age range, then for the love of God, let's isolate and protect those people. But that doesn't mean that the 40-year-old dude who's losing everything because you just won't let him open his restaurant deserves to lose everything. He's not going to die. And if we isolated and protected the people at the high risk in the beginning, if he got sick, we could have helped him right off the bat. But instead, the thought process was, shut it all the fuck down, everybody hide in fear, and we'll pretend it's okay. And for almost a year, we knew this flu season was coming and it was going to get worse. And we were just told to stay indoors. What? And now, because of a lawsuit, doors are opening conveniently? I don't know. Seems like a political move less than a safety move. You know, I pray that it's not going to be as bad as people claim it is. You know, because like you said, with the ongoing shit, who do you believe? I personally think it's somewhere in the center. Where do I think it ends? You don't want to get it because it's going to fuck you up. That doesn't mean you're going to die. And do your best not to get sick and not to get other people sick. Why is that so illogical? I don't see it. I that's my personal view. I don't see it. But my view is just trying to keep my family safe. And, you know, I'm also not a political person. You know, if you tell me shit, I'll go, well, that doesn't make sense. You know, anybody who knows me, you know me. You know, I'm not exactly a fan of Gavin Newsom's policies politically. I don't know him as a human being. I can't say I hate him. I don't know him. But I know he's made some fucking mistakes. I know he's spread some lies, and I know he's doing some shady shit. That's a problem to me. You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, not to get into the politics side of it, but I honestly feel that although politics are involved in everything, I really don't feel like this was a politic-driven situation. I don't feel like COVID-19, although may have been produced in a lab, which that's what they're saying.
Yeah, they're starting
now,
to say
right?
it again. Yeah.
You know, so but does that mean it's, you know, it was a politically driven thing? No, not necessarily. Not in my opinion. A lot of people say, oh, you know, the Democrats, you know, they did it, you know, to piss off the Republicans or whatever, and to get Trump out of office, whatever. I don't know.
No, here's what I mean by politicizing it. I mean, they took a thing like a world level outbreak and then just started pointing fingers at everybody who they claimed did wrong. We had an entire world level outbreak. People were trying to figure shit out, and you're going, the orange man fucked it up for everybody. That is not the 100% truth. That's not how this works. People are scrambling because at the same time, the Democrat in California decided the answer was to shut everybody down. That was pretty fascist to me. So everybody's trying to do the best with what they got. I'm also claiming Gavin Newsom is trying to do what he needs to do. I'm not, you know, I don't claim it's going to be a fun job, you know. But I don't think there's any truth to like, oh, somebody spread it to fuck over Trump, or somebody spread it to fuck over you know. I think it got spread, and people are using this as an opportunity for political gain. I do believe that.
Sure. Well, I mean, we got to admit from the get-go, it couldn't have been a political thing only because it wouldn't have been worldwide.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't even know why we even have that conversation, because that's just a fact.
Right.
It's a worldwide virus. It's not just the United States. So this is not a Republican versus Democrat situation. This is a worldwide issue where this virus came in, and apparently it can be deadly, and apparently it is extremely infectious. And so those are the problems, and that's what they were worried about.
Right.
Because what happens if, you know, 8 billion people get it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And only half of them survive it or less. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people would be cool, more room on the planet, but you know what I mean?
They say that, but that would be terrifying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a horrible thing, and you don't get to pick who lives and who dies.
Yeah.
And it's
well, and there is, I mean, people react to how they're going to react to situations, you know. I mean, you remember the Vegas shooting where the dipshit just started gunning down. I remember seeing footage of that, and there were people running, there were people cowering, and then there was footage of a dude literally just standing in the middle of it all like this, calling him a pussy before taking a bullet. You know, and you just want to be like, where was your logic to stand up in front of a dude shooting at you? That wasn't the play, you know? So I think there is a percentage of people who don't like the fact that they're, to a certain extent, we have no control. If you're going to get it, you're going to get it. Do the best you can, but you're going to get it or not. And rather than accept that and run with it, they've got to have an excuse to make them feel centered. So it's just something that happened and we're doing our best. It's, no, they did this for X reason, or this motherfucker did it for this reason, you know? And regardless, the question is, cool, are you saying there's no virus? Because there's absolutely a virus. Like, me and you both have personal people in our lives who have gotten it, more than one, you know? Mm-hmm. And thank God a lot of them, they're doing well, but doesn't change the fact they got it. It's a real fucking thing. You know,
and a lot of people have died from it.
Yeah,
it affects a lot of people differently. So yeah, it's kind of hard to tie it down to, well, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So,
and if there's and in my opinion, this is just my logic. If you walk into a party and everybody is watching boxing, are you going to walk in front of everybody and start telling them how stupid they are about how boxing is? Because that's what walking into a Trader Joe's with no mask and calling everybody sheep is doing. It's like, that's not the play, dude. You're not going to get any point across. You're not going to do anything but look like an asshole. Even if you believe it to your core, what are you going to get out of it? You know? And especially not only that, you're putting people in an uncomfortable position. You could be endangering yourself because there's some crazy motherfuckers who might see you without a mask and go, fuck this guy. You know? So it's like you see the footage of the guys walking in with a mask going, it's my right not to do this. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? Find another way to make your point. Don't just throw yourself onto the fire, you know?
Yeah. Well,
so the execution needs to be changed too.
I think a lot of people just want to stand their ground at this point. I mean, people are so tired of being considered sheep. I think that's part of the problem. I think people realize that they're considered sheep and they've been playing along for a very long time. And I think, you know, has been this way for a while now. And I think that's why, you know, Donald Trump was very popular amongst a lot of people, because he had this, you know, this is what we're going to do. And we're not going to play by the rules, and we're going to do it this way. Right. And I'm going to lead you to the promised land, so to speak, make America great again. And a lot of people bought into it, and they felt, okay, well, this guy wasn't a politician, so maybe he's not, you know, the same as the politicians that are all like corrupt.
Yeah.
You know, and so that there's like, okay, this is something new, and people like the idea of something new. You know,
yeah.
So I'm not putting down Donald Trump. I'm not bashing him or saying anything about any of them. You know, any of the politicians. I'm not trying to say that any of them are better than the other. Personally, I don't know. You know, I mean, who's to say what's in the hearts of men? You know what I mean?
Especially when you're talking about a game that's designed around lies.
Right.
We cannot forget that. At its core, politics is lying, manipulation, getting the power, getting your foot in the door, and then we turn around and go, I don't like Donald Trump or I don't like Joe Biden because they're liars. Then you should want them. They're the best at this game, right? You know, politics ain't about truth. We gave that up long time ago, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like,
sure,
we
man.
got to kind of remember also what the game is playing. You can't hold a dude to the fire of a priest if you're in a fucking whorehouse. Doesn't work that way, you know?
Well, that's an interesting way to look at it.
But I mean, honestly, if you
kind of reminds me of that movie Dust Till Dawn. For some reason, it's like, yeah,
you got Cheech out there, you know?
I know, right? We got a new flavor.
Fucking A. But my point is, though, is that's what I've started to realize. You know, I mean, I don't know if I've said it to you before or not, but when the heat of the fucking election was going down, you know, after a while I was like, you get more out of life debating over the Avengers right now than you do what's going on in politics, because you're not getting the full story. They're telling you what they think you need to hear, or they're giving you the information you want to hear, any of that. But at the end of the day, you don't know everything. You know, to quote Hamilton, no one else was in the room where it happened. You don't know what was really said. You have a reporter going, well, we have a source close to the situation who claims this, this, and this, or whatever the fuck. And then you are supposed to react to that. But you're not supposed to go, well, what did the other dude say? Because you're telling me what was said. Why did he react like that? You know, or nothing. You're just told, you're fed a line, and you're going, how does that make you feel? Good. Next line. You know, and it's like, I don't feel that you can legitimately anymore, especially with politics. I don't see how you can legitimately get mad, except for the fact that it's so deceptive. Because getting mad at Trump, sure, if he fucked up, be pissed, but it's not like the other side ain't doing the same shit in their own fucking way.
Yeah,
know?
for sure. No, you know, I think just some people just kind of, I think that tact is like the biggest thing there. Like tact is like something that both sides can appreciate, I think. And at some point, Donald Trump just kind of lost all control of his tact.
That dude's a fucking whack job. You know, let's be real.
He just,
I mean,
I just think he went too far on the other side of it, and that was it. You know what I mean? Maybe there would have been, you know, who knows what would have happened if he would have been a little bit more acceptant of people judging him and, you know, making quick judgments of him. You know what I mean? Yeah. And putting him down and stuff. And I know he got a lot of shit from a lot of the people in the media. But I think a lot of it too is because they were expecting for him to make America great again for the little man. Yeah. And for a lot of people, they felt like that's not what he was doing. And I feel bad because a lot of people that are like believing in people that say they're going to do that, they hope that someday they won't be the little man anymore.
Right.
A lot of those people, I truly believe that they feel that way. They are looking at it from the viewpoint of someday I'm going to get ahead and I might be successful and I might make a little bit of money, and I want a guy in my corner when that happens. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't want the IRS to come and fuck me over and take everything that I have. And I don't want anybody taking my guns because that's the only way I can protect myself. So I get it. You know what I mean? Without getting too political, I totally get where some people are coming from with this stuff. It's just human nature.
Right.
You know?
Well, and the other thing that bothers me with it is, you know, they elect Biden, everything goes on. And I've heard people go in and go, you know, look at how close it was. How could there be so many stupid people? And I'm like, that's a dangerous thing to do. You don't just dismiss somebody's belief or thought process to, you disagreed with me and you supported the orange evil, so you're stupid. And you're like, whoa, gear down. That's not, no. Like, there's so much more behind that. And I don't like that. That's becoming a trend that needs to kind of chill, because it's like, what the fuck? These people aren't stupid. And a lot of people, like, imagine, put yourself in the shoes of somebody who really thinks that the fucking election was legitimately stolen. Look at John Schaefer's dumbass. And I say that, fuck him. What the fuck? You bear spray a cop? Fuck it, man. But at the same time, if this motherfucker legitimately thought, dude, look at this. We're witnessing them in our faces take it. They're illegally stealing the fucking election. Like, some people truly believed that. How scared were they? But just chalk it up to stupidity. I don't know if that's a smart play, dude. Because I don't think they're stupid. Maybe misinformed, you know. Yeah. And yes, some of them are fucking morons who just wanted to be on TV. You know, the motherfucker who stormed the Capitol and stole the podium. What did you think was going to happen, you dipshit? You know?
I mean, we're not living in medieval times anymore, and there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
We start going back to that. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
You better hang on, buddy, because you got another thing coming.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If you think that that's going to be easy, it got brutal. That's one of the reasons why I respect Steve Santini so much, because he sees these occurrences that are happening.
Yeah.
And he remembers that history repeats itself, man. And taking over, trying to take over the Capitol by force like that without having, you know, a fair trial to dictate what should go on lawfully.
Yeah.
That was wrong.
Yeah.
You know, the other side could do the same thing. It's not right. It doesn't matter who does it.
If you don't like the system, we got to change the system.
Yeah,
you don't go breaking shit and threatening to literally hang somebody.
Exactly. Yeah.
No.
You don't start threatening to kill people and do people bodily harm. That's never going to solve the problem. So it's just going to make more. Oh, anyways.
Fuck. We've been going 2 hours. Let's call it. We had a long conversation. We went down some rabbit holes this train. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed this one. This one was a crazy one. I enjoyed the shit out of it. We're going to get into some other shit as we go. How you feeling, Ralphie?
I'm feeling good, dude. I'm a little tired. It's been a long week, but other than that, I feel good. I feel great about the show.
Yeah.
I think we've had a lot of good guests, a lot of cool stories, and we're going to continue on that path. And I'm excited. I just want to let everybody know, come on, guys, check it out, because you're not going to like every episode. But if you find a few that you do like, think about how much fun that's going to be for you to be able to get some of that information, some of those stories. You know what I mean? Especially if you are very much into the behind the scenes of the music industry. Remember that was that show that was real popular, Behind the Music?
Yeah. Yeah.
In a lot of ways, that's what we're doing with this show. So
yeah, because on top of going down those crazy discussions we just got done having, we really like kind of like pulling apart the puzzle of the music industry. Because at the end of the day, it helps us to get better at what we're doing and perfect our art. So to really get into the down and dirty of, hey, you know, well, I mean, honestly, that cancel culture thing was one of them. Like, you know, it does get, my brain does go, well, fuck, man. Like, I mean, the moral of that story, really, if you're an artist, is just don't be stupid. Think before you do fucking anything if you're planning on being in the entertainment industry. But, no.
Well, we literally have guys that don't want to come on the podcast because they're worried about the cancel culture. So,
and that's the thing. And those people have nothing to be afraid of. Like, we know them.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, so it's getting a little out of hand. That's my concern. But neither here nor there. We got, who's next? We got David Six, our good friend. He's coming on the show. We're going to have Plush coming on pretty soon. We got people, man. This is not going to be the only house show. We're going to continue this as well. I had a great time. Thanks for watching. Ralph, thank you for coming on because you're my guest today, apparently. Thank you so much for joining me, sir. No.
Thanks for having me, dude. It was a pleasure.
If you guys want us to cover any topics or anything, again, alhsyquestions@gmail.com. We'll front them, dude. Shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome. Continue to support the show. Our numbers are climbing every second, and I love it. Subscribe, like, share, comment, shoot us emails. Do it all, man. We're bringing it all.
Yeah, remember, guys, if this show is good enough for Al Pacino, then it's fucking good enough for you. Okay, that's all I got to tell you. And you know why I say that? Because Al Pacino was here earlier.
Yeah, you guys missed it.
And he said that he really digs the show. He came to me. He says, you know, I checked out the show. And I got to tell you, you got a great show. A great show.
Is that what he said?
I'll say hello to my little friend. Anyway.
And then he pulled his dick out.
And then he pulled his dick out. He molested me.
Yeah. Dude. Allegedly. No, kidding. That was all a joke. This was all improv.
Yeah.
Al Pacino is amazing.
Al Pacino is amazing.
He just showed Ralphie's dick. That's all we're saying.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to see the pee-pee.
Let's be real. The little friend joke has had to be made before. But anyway, Jesus Christ. That's going to be good. That's the one that's going to cancel us. Al Pacino's going to be coming out going, he talked about my dick. All right, people.
He had a great ass. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, everybody. We will catch
guys,
you next time.
A lot's happened since yesterday. Tune in, subscribe, share with your friends.
And until next time. Peace.
Yeah.